Right guys, so behind me, I don't know if you've really seen this properly yet. You probably have in other videos, but this is Brett's 80 and it's currently missing its heart. So you'll remember Brett from many previous episodes, but
going back a couple of years.
What do we got here?
It's a new little heart for the 80. New old little.
Little is a understatement. Man, it looks so freaking good. Let's start back when you bought the car.
Yeah, so it was like what 10.8 I think I bought it for. So factory turbo, 340,000 Ks or something. It was all like just alloy bar and normal like muddies and 2-inch lift and stuff. Nothing crazy. Pretty much nothing on it. Had a UHF and that's about it.
It was your typical old bloke spec.
Yeah, just a bit of a tourer. The bloke had taken it up to like Fraser Island. It's got some stickers on it for the ferry and all that. But yeah, it was pretty like standard everything else really. No performance stuff, no crazy bolt-ons or anything like that. And then it all went the other way pretty quick. Like going way back, it was all service and maintenance stuff. Like rebuilt all the front, all the rear, all the seals. We did bushes throughout the entire thing. Then it was, what else did we do then? 3-inch exhaust I think came first, and as the turbo, that was next. And then from there it was just more safety stuff, so the front mount cooler and a bit of a tune and playing around.
So you've got the G Turbo?
No, it's the Munro.
Munro,
Yeah,
okay.
Munro.
High float.
Yeah, billet. Actually, it's on the table over there. I told him I wanted one, and then he made one for another customer that didn't end up coming through. So I was able to jump on it.
Lucky for both parties.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the works. Billet wheel, high float, CT26. Pretty nice, I think it's got.
What's it good for, boost-wise?
He said upwards of, I think 15 to 26, something like that in that range. It's pretty happy. So it's got a 15 wastegate in it, and we'll run that for the new engine. It was singing along at 23 for a while there, pretty happily. Spool's straight up and sounds nice, and all the rest.
Wicked.
Yeah, and yeah, it was just bar work, I suppose, after the performance stuff, the rear carrier and sliders and all that sort of goodie. And then we started trying to get a bit more power out of it, and that's where it all turned to be pear-shaped.
Well, we don't actually know whether it was a pre-existing problem.
I think revealed.
I think it was
the pear shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it could have easily been a couple of different things, because the fuel pump, a lot of shit in that was replaced, and rather than just a service, it was like torn apart and rebuilt, so it was pretty worn. The cold start device was buggered, so it was always a bit retarded. The injectors, they were like corroded. I can send you a photo. They look shit. 2 of them look shit, and it just happened to be the same 2 that the pistons were cracked when we pulled the head off.
That's kind of why you pulled the head off, because you were doing the injectors, and then the O-ring, well, not the O-ring, the copper washer was stuck.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it was doing funny things on the dyno, and we were like, all right, well,
yeah, the more boost.
It's probably
was it the more boost, the less power it made?
Yeah, the more boost, the less power, and it started getting. It wasn't a nice curve from memory. It
still made decent power though.
Well, it was like 136, I think, and it felt fast for what power it was doing, and it was on like 20 pounds, something like that, and I was super happy with it. And yeah, we put it on the dyno, and we pushed it a bit harder than what you can do on the road, and it started revealing a few of its dirty secrets. And yeah, so I pulled the pump off, pulled the injectors out, and we're just having a good look. So I was going to send them off and get them done, and then put them back on, and off we go. And a couple of the copper seats that go under the injector, I don't know if I've got them here. They got stuck in the head, and in the process of trying to get them out, we tried everything. We tried like slide hammers and tapping threads in and all sorts of shit. And a few bits fell into the head, so we're like, oh, what do we do here? Do we vacuum it out and try and just run it, or blah blah blah? And ended up just pull the head off, do it properly, get the head like done nicely. Then it's got a new head, new fuel system, blah blah blah. And yeah, that's when we saw the cracked pistons.
Insert photos.
Yeah, and that's when, you know, the faces dropped and the money started flying out of the...
Yeah, so essentially, was it the next weekend or not too long after that, we basically set up in the street.
Yeah, plenty of
pulled
photos.
this thing out.
Yeah.
So
this is a better setup.
yeah.
We have cover.
Yeah.
It's not night time in the gutter.
Much better.
Same van, same engine crane. Yeah, so it's been 3 months since then. I sent it up to a guy, Grant Mills, up in Queensland, so he had some good reviews, and I read a lot of horror stories about fresh rebuilds eating shit again or needing more work or having to pull it all apart and go again and blah blah blah.
He has done a nice job by the looks of it.
Yeah, so I'm happy with that.
Well, his background is from like the V8 supercar circuit,
like
isn't it?
15 years or something in supercars, yeah.
As an engine builder.
Yeah.
Right. Shall we go over and have a run through on
yeah.
the mod list for the engine?
Yeah.
Alright, so obviously the standard displacement 1HD.
Yeah, 1HD-T. It's the 12 volt, 12 valve model. It's all your standard gears on there. So the fuel pump, that was ripped off, completely rebuilt inside and out. So it looks like a brand new pump from MTQ. Injectors, brand new injectors. The other ones are too far gone. They just pissed them off. Went again with some freshies. So inside's all later model pistons, because the combustion bowl on the earlier ones, I think it's deeper and it's smaller, so it's more of an impact zone, where the later ones are a little bit wider and a little bit shallower. I think it sort of spreads it out a bit better. Same rods, same crank, just cleaned up. Same with the cam and everything's just cleaned up. So new rings. The whole thing was, you know, stripped to nothing, chemically cleaned, and then it was all cleaned out.
Nice fresh coat of paint as well, which is good to see.
Well, brand new head as well, so...
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. It's got the 5-notch head gasket on there. That's pretty much what everyone goes to when they do a rebuild.
So
I think it's one up to 5, so 1, 2, 3, depending on the thickness.
Oh, so it's thickness.
So that'd be the thickest one.
So each notch is obviously a layer.
A layer, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the thickest one. I think it's just the safest as well, because when you skim the block and all that, it cuts a bit down. So that's generally what most people use on a rebuild. What else? Everything else I think is pretty much the same. It's just, you know, we spent a lot of time taking everything off and sandblasting them and repainting them to match. There's a few bits and pieces that are still a bit old and dirty, but they'll get cleaned up.
Mate, it's looking really nice.
Yeah, he's done a great job on it.
Yeah, real attention to detail. I'm impressed.
Yeah, and then the new clutch.
Oh.
Nice big one. Yeah, that's what was recommended there. I think their shop's next door to the Grant shop, so nice and easy for him. Yeah, just new gaskets everywhere, new O-rings and everything, and ready to go.
I guess we'll pull the hood off.
Pull the bonnet off, put the flywheel and the clutch on.
Yep. Wheel it out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Shouldn't be too bad.
Nah, I think it'll go in alright. The 2 bolts up the top here, they're the worst.
Oh, yes.
They're usually the worst, the top of the gearbox, because it's in the tunnel and it's right up in there. Yeah, once they're done, everything else is easy. Just bolt it straight on. And then it's just filly shit. Replumb it all the air hoses. I got a brand new radiator from Toyota down there. Slap that in. I think that's virtually it. And then blast it. No more cold start.
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people do, even if they're not rebuilt. Just people say, fuck them off, it's more trouble than it's worth.
So is that just like a kind of like a coolant thermostat with like a wax?
Yeah, it's some sort of wax element.
Same principle.
Yeah. So water flows in from the block through this thing, and it's got a plunger in it that I think it advances timing, something like that, for a cold start. So when it's buggered, which I'm pretty sure mine was, it just stays static and doesn't work properly. So you just piss the whole thing off. You can get a blanking plate with a little O-ring under there, and obviously Grant's put a Walsh plug in there, and I've plugged that, but you can easily just loop between the two to get that out of the equation. Yeah, that's about it. Exciting.
Hell yeah.
3 months and fucking way too much money later.
Worth it. Well worth it.
It'll be another 400,000 Ks hopefully.
Oh,
and now I know,
maybe a million.
Starting from scratch, I know all the intervals from here on out. There's no guessing. Was this done? Was that done? It's all genuine parts where we can, and SMS diesel rebuild kit. So should be a good thing.
Hell yeah. Let's well look, I'll put the camera down and we can get to work. Alright guys, NPC, was this just a standard or is it a heavy duty?
I don't know, I think it's a heavy duty one.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
You should know, you bought it.
I just told him whatever he recommends. He talked to NPC and that's what they gave me. So
Oh, perfect.
it was about $800, so whatever that.
I'd say it would be
$70, yeah.
So basically they use a factory cover and it's a Qd clutch disc, obviously uprated clamp force, and yeah, it all went on pretty easy. Everything Loctited, torqued down. In here we've got to get the clutch fork set up, get all I guess we're going to grease the
nips.
So we'll just use a thin smear of the Castrol moly grease. So this stuff, molybdenum disulfite. Put a little bit in here where the pivot wall goes. You don't want to overdo it. Less is best when it's kind of in the bell housing and the clutch system in particular. We'll put a little bit in here where the slave cylinder push rod touches, and also on the sleeve of the input shaft retainer. So this is the throw up bearing, so the clutch fork pushes against these two slots there, so we'll also put a little bit on those contact surfaces. Then you can see inside the throw up bearing there's a little channel which you can hopefully see where my thumb is. So that is basically to collect a little bit of grease and keep some in there, so you don't want to go overboard. Just a really light smear, because sometimes if you do go overboard, it can end up in the clutch or just flung around everywhere and on components that you don't want to have grease on, and also it can gum up and make things a bit harder, or make the sliding action of this a bit harder. So we'll get onto that and should be ready to go back in. So I've just degreased and wiped down the bearing retainer shaft just because there's a little bit of old gummed up grease on it. So now we can do a thin smear on there. I'll also put a tiny weeny bit on these input shaft spines, very, very sparingly. Feels good. probably saw in the time lapse, we were having trouble basically getting the engine over the front. So we could have kind of played around with the jack and pulled it hoist and got it a bit higher, but figured we'd let the air out of the tyres, that was one thing, and then Brett ended up jacking up the rear of the car, the rear left, which basically pushed the rear left front right the front right down enough just to get it over. So
because some people take the road support, the condenser and all that bullshit out in the grill, and you slot the whole thing just level.
That would be nice, but that's so much extra work.
No, it's a lot more work. Like bull bar off for one.
Well, they have actually already done it as a split. That's good.
Yeah. Once upon a time.
A lot of the time you've got to cut it yourself. And
it looks like they might have even been off at some point.
Alright, man. Well, let's
get some sleep, I think.
Do a reconcile on the tools and...
Yeah, shove this back in, clean up.
Yeah, just pump those tyres up first.
Yeah. Bit of noise for the neighbours.
Now we'll get the bike pump. Alright. Alright guys, so we're getting close. It's pretty much the end of the second day now. We've made a bit of a detour about lunchtime today. We went and picked up a spare gearbox for my surf. So that was about 3 hours out of the way, but nonetheless, we've been chipping away and it's all looking like it's
like an engine.
back how it was a year ago.
Yeah, a couple of fixes.
4 months ago.
Yeah, 4 months.
It's not like my cars, it happens a bit quicker than mine.
Yeah, there's a few, actually can't forget that, there's a few hoses and shit to go back together, but...
Yeah, nonetheless, it's looking good. The PDI cooler pipes, they're a bit of a fucking...
Yeah.
See you next Tuesday, aren't they?
Yeah, just those two under there, they're fucking painful. Yeah. But once they're
There's not much to work with the... Like I was saying, there's probably a slight better design with like a bulkhead pipe. But anyway, fuck that. It's done. It's all looking pretty nice. Just engine oil's filled up. It says full on the dipstick, so we're pretty much ready once we get the batteries in to give this thing a bit of a dry crank just to circulate some oil, get the oil pressure on the gauge, check there's no leaks, which I highly doubt there will be.
Yeah, we're pretty thorough.
Yeah, the batteries in this thing's a fucking bitch as well, isn't it?
Yeah, everything's a bit of a bitch.
So I guess next you see us, we'll be
probably cranking.
Yeah. Hopefully your batteries are still full.
They should be.
I really hope so.
We've had them on charge.
That'd be disastrous. Sunday night.
Back the van up to it.
Yeah. Oh jeez. Alright. Much deserved beer. Alright, so we're pretty much ready, or?
I think so.
We've
scary.
Double, triple, quadruple checked. As you can tell, we're in no rush. It's night time of day 2 now.
Yeah.
We did make a few detours, as I said before, so we did lose probably 3 or 4 hours, but nonetheless, we're on holidays. You know, I'm staying over here until we get this done, so we'll work and we just go to bed straight afterwards. So, what is it? 10 o'clock? 10 o'clock. Yeah. Nothing like a bit of a dirty fucking diesel to wake up the neighbours.
First start, dirty diesel.
So basically, fuel pump's primed. We've got oil in there, coolant's in. Yeah. We've left off the diesel shut-off solenoid, so it technically shouldn't get diesel into the pump to start it. So we're just gonna crank it, just check that everything, all the 12-volt stuff seems to be working, lights, locks, windows, all that stuff. Yeah. So yeah, we'll give it a tester today or tonight. Check that everything's alright. Hopefully it'll start. Run it for a little bit, shut it off. Check for any leaks. Obviously we don't want to be running it for very long at this time of night on a Sunday.
And you don't want it to idle.
Yeah, you also want to kind of load the thing up at various RPMs and kind of bed the rings in as best as possible. So,
right.
We need to do this so we can go to sleep. In a nutshell. Just give it a short little burst, see if the starter works. Yeah, everything looks fine. Sounds strong. Sounds strong.
Go again.
Yeah.
Oil pressure hasn't moved.
Can you see actual pressure or is it just a light?
No, it's a gauge. It's a very inaccurate gauge.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes some time to get pressure through.
Yeah. So what do you want to do?
Keep going.
Are you happy?
Sounds good. If you had to tell if this is dropped.
You're going to have to give it a wipe and shove it in.
Yeah, it's gone down a bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so the oil level's dropped on the dipstick, so we know that oil is pumping and obviously depleting from the sump as it fills up other cavities in the engine, so that's a good sign.
And the filter.
Yeah, filter as well. So that's good. We'll put some more in with our trusty Pepsi funnel.
There should be about 500 ml left in the can.
Yeah. See how that goes. And we're using, that's our running oil. The old Penrite 10/10. Good gear. Is it mineral?
Yeah, full mineral. I think it's got extra zinc and shit in it.
Yeah, this is what I used on the built Foz engine. Shall we?
Scary.
That's purring.
Fuck yeah. What? I'm getting fired. I smell like diesel in the morning.
Mate, that is purring.
Yeah,
That is so quiet.
that was nice. Fuck yeah. Started up, no worries.
Yeah,
Must have taken a while to get
once
the...
it's primed,
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
4 months.
Well, I started up and reversed it back in now. Alright guys, we're cooking with gas. Well, diesel actually. But it's not even like that bad back here.
Nah, it only ran for about...
Yeah, no soot for the mud.
Fuck yeah.
A little bit congregating, but dude, yes. I was getting a little bit worried. It was taking a while, but
Well, the only reason I didn't care is because I just watched the first startup video on YouTube 2 seconds ago, and it took a while, and he blipped the throttle, and then it came to life. So,
mate, that I hope the camera picked it up, but that thing is idling so, like for a bone cold engine with no oil circulation prior.
0 kilometers.
Yeah,
Like,
it
just
sounds,
absolutely fresh.
it's purring. Like it didn't even sound like a diesel.
Nah.
Like it wasn't clatter.
No
anything.
clicky clacky, you know, nothing.
Fuck,
Just...
man, this thing is gonna be fucking sick. Shit, man. Oh, we can sleep easy tonight.
I won't sleep. I'm gonna be like, let's drive it.
I'm gonna hear the friggin' 1HD fire up at 2 AM.
I'm gonna get these out of the way.
Yeah.
That's
Fucking look at us. We've gone from like playing with all our fast petrol cars to like
big cranky
fucking
diesels.
3 diesels now.
Yeah, 3 turbo diesels in a row.
What's going on?
And none of them are fast.
No. This will be the fastest.
Yeah, probably. Although the van's quite zippy.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
Nice.
What a feeling. Alright, let's do another reconnoiter on all the tools and shit. Get to bed at a reasonable hour.
Wake up even earlier.
Yeah.
Do it all again.
Yeah. Well, I'm like actually clean today.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because
You went under the car.
yeah, I don't actually have another change of clothes. I was only planning on staying last night.
Yeah.
But So I've got to keep these ones pretty clean.
Shuffle around a few things.
Yeah.
We've got another
I've taken my underpants off, same thing. Alright. Okay. So, you'll see us again on day 3.
Nice. Signing.
Alright, new day, fresh mind. We've checked the oil. It's bang on. Coolant, well, we haven't really run it, so we don't really know. So yeah, this should just fire straight back up again and do a proper check for leaks and chuck the bonnet back on, go for a drive, and should be rolling coal in no time. Well, I think that was the quickest bonnet install. First go, perfect. Diesels, mate, they're just easy.
We good?
We're gonna fire it.
We are.
Oh, glow plugs sound good. Wow.
Nice.
How quiet is it? You got all your instrumentation?
Yeah, pressures there. Oh, this. EGTs are working.
Intake working?
I don't know about that one. Intake air temp's good. I think that's boost, the middle one.
Oh yeah, it would be, yeah.
How's it in smoke?
It's clean as, bro.
Smelly.
Alright, just vary the RPM a bit. Alright guys, first drive.
And we're up. I'm gonna pop your mirror out. Oh, I don't think that window works. Oh, it does, fuck yeah.
So everything's fixed now. So you're saying the clutch feels good?
Yeah,
Takes
clutch
up like an inch from the floor?
just bites and
Perfect. Power?
yeah,
Like more than...
it's just so much smoother. Like you just sort of lean on it and it starts building and taking off. I forgot how heavy the brakes were. I'm used to the fucking
Like a stiff pedal.
oh, just like you push on it a bit.
Yeah. All your temps are working, that's good. So I need to get you a bit of a 3D printed surround, I think, for these gauges, mate.
Yeah, fixing on.
Yeah. So we got EGT, boost, and intake temps. It does feel really freaking smooth.
Yeah, it's responsive.
Seeing, 10 pound so far. So these EGTs are pre-turbo, as they should be, not post, so don't freak out. £13.
Water temp's still good.
Still good?
Clutch is great.
Yeah. Feels like factory clutch.
Yeah, it was nice.
You got a pretty good rep MPC. So wastegate on this is 15, meant to be 15.
Yeah. There's no controller. It's just
Yeah, so it'll probably start cracking at 12 or something.
yeah.
Maybe let's do another couple of laps nearby, just check,
Yeah, do
make
a
sure
water
all the water temps are good. So we did our best to bleed the cooling system. We kind of filled up, the heater hose all through the heater matrix, and then, tried to bleed as many bubbles out as we could with the squishing of the hoses and everything. I forgot to bring my coolant bleeder funnel, but I think we should be right.
Yeah.
We had it parked up on the slope on the driveway, so the filler neck of the rad was the highest point. So it's up to temp and it's staying.
Yeah, it's staying
solid.
Good.
So from 1 to 10, what's your frothing level?
Oh, it's easy 10.
It makes 10 pound easy.
It's the first time
just on that.
Yeah, this.
You're barely even on the throttle.
I'm like leaning on the throttle.
Yeah, like it's making 10 pound like that.
Yeah. Which is what it should. Like.
Yeah.
4.2 litre. Billet turbo.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, just it's like it's been probably 4 or 5 months since I drove the fuck.
Yeah. That's the problem when you do stuff like this. You forget how it used to feel.
Yeah.
It's like when we did the engine in the Foz. I hadn't driven that for like 2 years. Feels strong.
Yeah, and that's just easing into it too.
Alright, well, we'll get back, double check everything. Then I guess we'll go for a bit more of a run and load it up. I love it. There's just something I keep saying. There's something about these old diesels. Like you just do whatever, and they just within reason. Like you obviously have to know what you're fucking doing, but you can just slap stuff on. Like, well, we were quite meticulous, so. But essentially, like reached the 60, like full custom turbo kit.
Yeah, started up off your
first go, perfect, no drama. Do you know where you are?
Yeah, at the shops. Like if you asked me where we just went, I wouldn't have a fucking clue.
No.
I'm just driving till I see things that I know.
Give it a bit of a squirt. There we go, 14. 14.9, dude. Superb. This thing's going to be so good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see it back on the dyno and see what it makes.
Yeah, once I'm done.
This should be probably one of the.
I want to reset that.
Like I guess on a an equal comparison to like another 80 series with the same mods, this thing should make a lot of power.
Yeah, it'll max out around 200 horsepower if I'm really pushing it. Just because the heads are the limiting factor there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what torque it'd be. It'd be fucking way up there.
So contrary to what a lot of people think is when you're bedding in a new engine, you actually kind of want to give it a bit of load because on a lot of pistons, especially the boost on top of it is what forces out that piston ring, and obviously the more you can push that piston ring out against the floor, the more you can get it to seat, the faster you can get it to seat, and the better you can get it to seat. So obviously less blow by and better compression. So,
I think the main thing is not revving it too hard.
Yeah.
You don't want to go too high, you don't want to load
just
it.
load.
Yeah. Just make it work a bit.
Yeah, 15 pound. Yeah, intake temps, look. You can't beat a front man intercooler in my opinion, honestly.
Anywhere.
So it probably, what would it be out, like 30 degrees out at the moment?
I reckon it's more than 30.
Yeah.
Unless it's very humid, but it's pretty hot. It's very smoky too, so it's hard to say. Like I'm in fourth, and if I just ease into it a little bit, picks right up.
Yeah. It's got plenty of torque. It's fucking... Of course, everyone does 20 k's under the actual speed limit. People cannot drive these days, it's fucking pathetic. Shout out for Grant, because this engine is stout.
Yeah. Oh, it's just smooth as.
Such a nice job.
Zero issues, click it on, off we go.
It's just nice when things work.
Yeah.
You pay the money and you do it properly.
Yeah.
Alright, here we go, first big hill. Load this bad boy up.
When we get there eventually. Oh, fucking guys. What is easy to do this?
Temps are still good, about 400 EGT. They're actually going too slow for even this. Fucking hell. What is going on?
Just muppets that can't take a corner.
When you're going too fast with someone in your friggin' 80 series Land Cruiser,
But you're trying to break in and take easy.
you know you're going slow.
It's perfect too, I'm in front.
Here we go, hill climb time. You can beat the truck.
I don't even have to try to beat the truck.
So we've got a good long steady incline here, so this will be good for seating the rings. Check how these temps are going as well.
You reckon 4th or 3rd? Like give it a bit
Start
of
off in
rev.
4th, see. It's mainly the load you want.
Yeah. I just don't want to do like high gear, low revs, high load sort of thing.
Yeah. You'll have to go down to 3rd for this. Temps are really good, like they don't get too high, but they come back down really quick as well, which is good.
This is 4th.
Yeah, stay, like keep that low. You're on about 15, 14 pound first. 5, 30.
What did the temps get to?
540 was the highest.
Oh yeah, plenty of leg room.
Beautiful. Tuning really well.
Yeah, perfect.
Bloody perfect.
No lack of power, it's good off the mark. Picks up anywhere you stick it. Definitely no lack of power, is there?
No.
Like it pulls after he's off.
I love it.
Yeah.
It feels good.
You want to drive it back or hold it down to?
Oh yeah. Round the ring. Alright, my turn. Mate, it is smooth. It's just,
Yeah.
can't even feel it.
No, it's just a nice,
Clutch is still stiff as always.
yeah, but just nice, bitey.
When you're trying to wait for the traffic to pass when they let you in.
Yeah.
Damn nice people. It feels so chunky.
Yeah, it's just like smooth
It's just torque and it's like, yeah. Well, I reckon like once the suspension's done, it'll feel like a real modern
Yeah.
car.
Yeah, it needs
Yeah, it's still a little bit drifty, eh?
I think that's the steering box.
Have you touched the steering box since last time?
Nah, because this is the best it's been.
The suspension definitely needs to be done.
Oh, it's so soft.
There's a certain feeling you get when you drive like one of these or like a 60. It just feels manly.
Agricultural. And it's not too big. Like the 100 and 200 are a step bigger again.
Yeah.
80 is a good compromise.
Throttle response is good too.
Yeah.
It's one of those cars you can just jump in and drive like without
Yeah.
getting used to.
Yeah, it's forgiving. Well, especially with the torque, like you can virtually let the clutch out and then
Idle out.
yeah, add a bit of acceleration.
Fuck, and what a 3 days. In 3 days?
Today's the 3rd.
Yeah. 2.5 days.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't really even start till.
We didn't have the engine on the hoist until probably about 2 p.m.
Yeah. We'll just cruising on first day.
Yeah, there was a lot of sussing out, making sure we got everything.
Re-remembering.
Yeah, where all the bolts and brackets go and get the clutch on, turbo on.
I think we were saying, what, if we did like one solid day, we'd have this whole thing.
I reckon if we had the crane with a bit more height,
Or no bull bar.
yeah, or no bull bar, either or. Yeah, all the bracketry and shit. Like, because now that we've done it, we could easily do it in a day.
Yeah.
Because fucking around with that crane trying to get it in, that ate like a good 2, maybe more hours.
Yeah.
Like trying to figure out lifting it, tilting it, and taking the weight off and all that. That ate a lot.
There's engine mounts that are deceiving as well, that stupid little pin.
Yeah, trying to get them lined up.
Making sure that it's actually in. It's kind of got me excited what this thing could do with a proper tune. Like it's, especially in 4th gear, it really just gets,
Yeah, it takes off.
starts freight training.
How it is now is perfect. Like this is all I need. Power to get up hills,
Yeah.
power when it's loaded. Doesn't get hot.
Yeah, it doesn't have any flat spots either. It's just like,
Yeah, it just
as
goes.
soon as you're back on it, it's pulling in all RPM range.
I think 4th rate gets a bit hot because it's probably
Yeah.
dumping a lot more fuel with less go. Less
Even
torque.
then, like, what'd you see? You know?
460 or something.
Oh, it's still pretty tame.
Yeah, it's 10 miles.
Yeah, man, you must be stoked.
Oh yeah, it's so nice to just have it sorted. Like it felt like it was never going to get done.
Now she's done, and we've just been driving around all day. We haven't even had to do anything.
It's crazy. I keep thinking back to like playing up on the dyno, being real smoky, and I was just worrying heaps.
Yeah.
And then finding the fucking piston and having everything off.
Having someone that you can trust to build an engine, that's like
Yeah.
a massive thing out of the way.